All right, Jessica, I'd like to call the meeting to order at 1:31. Do I have a motion to call the meeting to order? A second?
You got it.
Okay. All right, ready to go. We'd like to take a look at the November meeting, not September. That was the November meeting. And do I have a motion? We have the minutes, and Jessica was nice enough to disseminate all those minutes to us from the November 21st meeting. And do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
Yeah. Approve.
Okay, we have a second. Okay, so a motion to approve. We have Nance,
Yep.
second. Yes. Okay. All right. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All right, 4-0. Okay, so the first topic is probably the most important topic for us because obviously we're down 3 people. So we're a committee of 7, and we now are a committee of 4 with a whole bunch of great people that are ex facto members that help us tremendously. John, you being one of them, and Lori, you being another, and several other people. So we're blessed. But we do need to search. And what I did was I developed some questions I shared with Nancy last night. I was at 11 o'clock at night. I just did that, pumped out those questions. I'm going to share them with the 2 of you guys and give you, and again, I know usually you guys, the town board comes up with the questions, but these are just, I think, kind of good questions from the committee's point of view of what we're looking for in terms of filling the thing. But obviously, you amend them in any way, shape, or form that you want. We have received, I believe, 3 or 4 candidates that are interested in serving on the committee. We would be very anxious to get that up and running because obviously, it's important for us to fill out the 7 people. So we'll make ourselves available. Nancy, comment?
My comment is that I'd like us to go over the procedure.
Okay, so the procedure.
I really don't know what it is.
Okay, so I think I explained that in the minutes, though, didn't I put the procedures in there in the minutes? I think I did, and so basically what the town did is, for any committee, not just our committee, when there's a vacancy and they get letters of resignation from committees, they put an ad in the local paper, in the Reporter, saying that this X committee or Y committee or Z committee has an opening or 2 openings, in our case, 3 openings that they would like to fill. Anybody please interested, send a letter to the town hall requesting that you be looked at as a candidate for that vacant position. That happens. So we gather those. Once we have gathered those, and we have 3 openings, and we have, Meg, is it 3 or 4 people?
3.
All right, we have 3.
We have 3 openings,
Okay.
right? We
So-
have a 7-member committee and there's 4.
We have 3 openings.
Yeah, and my feeling,
The applicants are there.
and my feeling would, logic would then say, well, let's take the 3 people and automatically. No, there is a procedure, and I think it's a good procedure. And it's a series of checks and balances for the town board. Maybe one of those 3 people pan it, maybe 2, maybe all 3, maybe the search is done. But that's for the town board to decide. So when we.
Can I just stop you for a second? Because there are 5 of us, not 4.
Yeah, we have 3 potential interviews right now, I believe.
We have 5 existing, not 4.
No, we have,
Lori,
Lori is not a
Oh,
member.
Lori, okay, gotcha.
Okay.
I made the same mistake, Gina.
No, so
Okay.
you're a committee of 4 right now, Gina.
Gotcha.
Lori is
Okay.
ex
I was
officio.
just wondering if we could find out.
Right, there we
who
go.
the people are, because I did recognize somebody, but how do we know if they?
You can check with Meg at the end of the meeting. We're not going to bring up the names of people right now. Because we were going to do this in closed session. I'd like to keep everything in open session if possible. This is not rocket science, and the procedure is important. So once we have determined that we have a sufficient number of people, which I think we have right now to start an interview process, the board will schedule according to their availability, a chance for these 3 people to come in, probably usually following a meeting, one of your regular weekly meetings, where they sit down and they invite those 3, 4 candidates in. They pull out a hot seat, they sit right out here, the board sits up here, and usually the chairman, not the whole committee, the chairman sits up there, in our case, 2 co-chairmen. I can sit, and if you're not physically here, you surely can be here by Zoom.
Right.
And if other members of the committee want to be in attendance, they can be in attendance and sit out there. Then the series of questions, which I have developed a series of 6 questions, but again, that's for the town board to finalize and for them to look at the questions. They ask the same questions of every candidate. And at the end, usually the final question is, do you have any questions of us? And then that, of course, we have our liaisons right there that will address any questions that they may have. Once that is done, we are not involved with the decision process. We are just there to help in terms of asking questions and if, anything comes up that they technically want to know about the committee, that's our role. The role of the town board of those 5 people is to make the recommendation back to the committee of who their selections are. That's it. Have I done that correctly?
And we do take your recommendations into account. If there's a candidate that you feel strongly about, we
Yeah.
always take that into consideration.
Okay.
Albert, is that okay?
As usual, very thorough.
Too thorough, too long, but I want, it's an important thing. And I think it just for everybody's sake, we want to get it right. And as I said, we may fall in love with the 3 candidates that we interview on that day, and we've got a full complement of people, and we're back and running, and that's very helpful. Anybody else have any questions or comments from the audience or from the committee here, the people that are here? If not, we can move on. And Meg and Albert, when, as a timeline, I'm going away for 2.5 weeks from mid-February to the beginning of March. So I think it's February 17th to March the 7th. I think that's the 2 to 17 days that I'm gone.
Okay.
But if we could do it beforehand,
Yeah.
that would be great. I think the sooner the better. If not,
I'm away the entire month of March.
Okay.
So I think that if we can
Before.
do it before you go away, that
Okay.
would be good.
okay, all right, all
I'll
right,
talk to Coco about scheduling them, because she's the
Great.
one who coordinates and organizes that.
great, yep, all right,
We'll get it done.
all right.
And if
Super-duper.
and if it's midweek, the interviews, I probably will be on Zoom.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
We usually do them after the town board work session, so typically on Tuesdays.
Tuesdays, okay.
But if for some reason applicants can't come on a Tuesday, we'll find some other time to meet with them that works for most, for everybody.
Okay,
okay,
just let us know.
all right. So item number 4 on the agenda now, I'm going to turn this back over to the other, our co-chair right over here. This is on the seasonal affective disorders, and you wanted this on the agenda, and it's an
did.
important topic, and it is a timely topic because we're getting into the dog days of winter.
We talked about having a program on seasonal affective disorder. And a few weeks ago, Bonnie, remember Bonnie?
Yes, yes.
Very fun.
Bonnie and I met with Terry Lucas, and we came up with the date of March 6th as a Friday night dialogue,
Okay,
which of course will be completely on Zoom because there's no, everything in the winter is always on Zoom with the library. I am in the process of looking for a speaker. So if anybody has any recommendations, I have a few leads, but if anybody has any recommendations, that would be great. I recently attended on Zoom the program on senior scams. Was anybody else in attendance on that? I mean, it was very simple. It was one speaker on Zoom, 45 minutes Q&A. And that's kind of what the model that I'm thinking of for this. We don't have to get into like a big thing. We just want one person who knows what he or she is talking about in terms of seasonal affective disorder, and we'll do it on Zoom, and whoever shows up, that would be great, but I think it's really an important
is.
topic at this point. It probably should have been earlier in the season. However, by early March, I think people who haven't gone to Florida and who haven't gone to the Caribbean, by early March, people are probably really going crazy.
They're feeling it, yeah.
they are.
So if anybody has any feedback or any suggestions.
I think it's a great topic, it's a timely topic, and it's something that I know just living in Silver Beach, it's a really senior community down there that are year-round people. And there are a lot of people in their early, mid, late 80s, early 90s. And there's a lot of need. There's, especially when the weather gets cold, it's tough.
Yeah.
I think we feel, and Lori, this is a topic that has been a real concern for you. Do you have any things that you want to say?
There are three in a row right now. I think they're sharing an aid because they,
Yes,
each one has a partner that's feeling
right.
ill. And there's one couple that I just mentioned about. They are both under the weather at times.
Yes, yeah, and I know that. I know the three
Those
families you're talking about. But that works, and Lori, by the way, I just have to say something about Lori. We had a friend of mine at Silver Beach had a particular problem with spouse and was lost, and definitely needed some help. I said, have you talked to Lori yet? And I'm a great person. She's got so many, he calls over, and I guess Lori, I see him about 2 days later. I said, how did the conversation go? He goes, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was an 11. She was so helpful. I came over, got, some walking devices and some this, that, toilet seats and this, that, and the other thing. And I know even from my own point of view that Margaret just had hip surgery, there was something, you were very nice about, giving us some things that we desperately needed for that first 2 weeks when she came home from the hospital. So and it's not just from one person. I hear from a lot of people, Lori, that, behind the scenes that, you just reach out and you go above and beyond and help a lot of people. And it's really noteworthy. It really is.
You know what, a serious thing right now, and I don't even know if you know it, Catholic Home Care and Peconic Bay Hospital are not sending any aides or nurses out here right now for some reason, and they won't tell me. I kind of have a feeling that it maybe the ferry might be too much, because even if they have one person, they're blowing it on the fee for the ferry and not their income.
That's Catholic Home Care, and what's the second one?
Peconic Bay.
Peconic Bay.
And then I called Peconic Landing because they have a new agency. And when I first talked to the administrator, she said, oh yeah, we'll come to Shelter Island. And so then I called her because I had a need. And she said, oh, I'm sorry, we can't come. So I don't know what the message is about Shelter Island, but it's really pathetic. But truthfully, that's another loss on the island. I got the pharmacy, the doctor, it's too much.
Is there a way in which, maybe the owners of the ferry companies
No, I was just going to suggest,
with the town?
Exactly.
It's such a simple.
to be honest with you, they've been very good, both ferry companies. When you go up to them and say, my spouse is in the hospital and it's going to be there for a month, can I get some, or if they do give you that medical,
Yes.
pass, and it works out well. It's something that in our dialogue, maybe we can expand that to some of these healthcare workers, because if that is the big stumbling block, and it could very well be, because as now it's getting more and more expensive to come back and forth on the island, and not to mention the wait time. So if you have a client, you got to be at 9 o'clock in the morning, you don't get there at 20 to 9, and you're going to be sitting on a line. You're not getting there till 10 o'clock. Supposed to be there at 9.
And Laura, you were saying at one point that if they could schedule 3 people in one day to see.
Right.
It'd be easier.
It'd be easier
Yeah,
than
it's like
just-
working in an apartment as a visiting nurse. I would see 8 people, but I'd go up and down the elevator and I could get them all done.
Yeah.
And bear with me, this is the Lori fantasy. But I've talked to the Loining family, and they've got a load of bedrooms over in that place. Right now, he's in a nursing home, but the daughter is in agreement with me to allow aides or anybody medical, if they need a place to sleep, this is when it's all finished and he's out and everybody's up and running, that they could stay there, communal kitchen, they've got a bath, and then they can see, maybe one person can see 6 or 8 people on the island. Because financially right now, it's a little expensive. It runs almost to $400 a day for a 24-hour. And that's a lot of money when you're really scratching and you're thinking of your own health eventually. Or should I go up with the kids?
Yeah.
So that's one of my things. And then this is the other grand fantasy. I have a vivid imagination.
The lottery, the lottery.
No,
Right.
better. I'm thinking, so we've got these bedrooms and we've got stuff at Stony Brook with a load of medical students that do community health. Now, if they want to stay here for 3 months, we could give them a bed maybe over there. And then they could bring their big doctors who are going to oversee them, and they can be our replacement for Potter. Because the big guys got the license, and the other guys are on the way because they've already been through medical school. They're just doing a stretch. So, I think
That's a
about
good,
this thing.
Lori, that's a great feed into item number 5 on the Shelter Island Medical Center. I want to elaborate on that when we get into that area.
Where is the place that you're talking about?
It used to be called Bellcrest. It's up by Cozy.
Oh.
It's right now, it looks like a lot of cars out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
The man he was a hoarder.
Yes.
But they've cleaned it out, but they have to refurbish and the daughter's an attorney but she's lovely, but they live in Connecticut and she has a 6-month-old baby. And, there's a lot of issues going on, but she's in agreement to help us right now.
It's something,
But I think, it's worth it. And then that kind of goes to my old feeling about having Shelter Island as a horizontal NORC, naturally occurring retirement residential community.
Does everybody know what a NORC is?
That's what it is, a naturally occurring resident.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sometimes NORCs have services that they provide. And sometimes if it's a building in Manhattan where people are just aging, often it becomes a NORC because there's no elevator, there's no stairs rather, and, people just sort of live there. But a real NORC, of which there aren't that many, actually has services for people.
yeah, because I worked in them in the city and the doctor was there. We had the psychiatrist, we had the visiting nurse and the PAs and NPs and then dietitian, and we had a senior center. We have all that anyway.
Yes,
And if we could create it, but it would be horizontal, and I'm sure we would make the books. But, and I don't mean money, I mean books. But
In terms of being designated a real
a
NORC.
real NORC,
Yes.
yeah.
It's a state designated.
what's the initials on that?
NORC,
NORC.
C, as naturally occurring residential community. And it's something that you grew up in. So you have like womb to tomb families there.
And you're saying the services are,
So I was looking at the state, I started looking into this last year, on what it would take for us to get certified as a naturally occurring retirement community. And so there's some services that you have to provide in order to qualify, but then once you get qualified, then you are available to get monies from the state to help run those services. So when I first looked at it, we had a lot of the ancillary recommended services, but we didn't have any of the primary services that they want us to have. So that's something that I need to look deeper into. They're more medical based. We have a good senior center, we have the social worker, we have some of these other services, support services, but we're missing some of the primary services. So
What were the ones that are missing?
honestly, off the top of my head, I don't remember, but I have the book at home. I'll bring it.
Yeah.
I'll email it out to
Yeah,
everybody
'cause
so
I-
you can see.
I've worked, the last one I worked at, we had 2 doctors, we had, about 8 social workers, because we were in the Bronx. And then we had music therapy with Oliver Sacks and his bunch. And then we also had all the, the art and nutrition and that. And then we had transportation, which I see, we do have a lot of the stuff and we have the talent.
We do.
What we're missing is a full-time doctor.
Well, that's why we're going to give them a
It's
bed.
full-time doctor. That isn't even what we were missing. It was something else. I'll email it out to everybody
That's
because I
good.
did a little
Thank you.
research and write up. on
Thank you,
it.
that'd be very helpful.
between us not having it now and then having it is that we would have state funded money to help support
Yes.
paying for these services.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something that Alla and I started looking at last year, and then it got to be December, and holidays, and now it's a new one, so we'll pick it back up, but it was something that she thought that
Okay,
working together, we could probably make it happen,
all right, sounds good.
because we have such a high population of seniors.
Yes, and getting higher,
Basically,
and getting higher.
We should qualify. And
Yes.
it's just-
I think what is the number, like
It's,
37?
it's about 68% are over 60.
Oh, yeah, I guess I was thinking higher.
68% now.
It was in the high 30s, I thought, high 30s.
Can't be 68% over that.
Well, I thought that
I
was
was
a
thinking high
difference.
30s over 65.
That sounds,
I,
that's two a dozen now?
I just took from 60 on up to at the
Right.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's the high 30s.
Yeah, but
No, even-
that's significant too. I mean, you get the 38, 40% of a community that's 60 and older, that's
It's
pretty
the highest
significant.
percentage of seniors.
In New York State.
In New York State, yes.
Yeah.
So right,
Yeah.
Shelter Island, so right there, that's saying something.
Yeah.
Minority.
And you know, insofar as that ancillary group that, Meg, with the ancillary people, we have so much talent on this island. Like, we had, like Oliver Sacks we had, but Mickey Hart was helping drumming, doing the drumming with the seniors. He's in the Grateful Dead, if any of you didn't know that. He's about one of the few last ones. Bob Weir. But anyway, I think the community lends itself very well, but it's a stretch that you have to think about, but it may be our solution.
Yeah.
Because we were looking at how many doctors have been here, and boy, they whiz by. Maybe every 5 years, we have somebody different. And if we had something solid, it would make it a lot easier.
It would be helpful.
Yeah.
All right, I think we need to keep it on the clock here in a little bit.
me.
But that's a good discussion, very good discussion. Item number 5, the pharmacy long-term solutions. I think I have the answer to it, but I will beg to Albert and Meg to give me a,
So we have another meeting, so the group that's been organized to work on the pharmacy, it's more of a community group and not a town-sponsored group. So we're meeting again Wednesday on the 21st at 11:30.
Wednesday, January 21st?
January 21st at 11:30. And I wanted to see if there's anybody from this committee that would be available to just sit in and hear what we're working on.
The 21st, at what time, I'm sorry?
I'll be here.
11:30.
January
11:30 to 12:30. It's January 21st.
21st, got it.
Yeah.
Okay,
That would be great.
all right.
And so what we've been trying to do is see if we can find a pharmacist who would partner with us to create like a satellite office, but we are not having luck right now. We've spoken to 3 or 4 different pharmacists in the local area, and they're all too busy to take on something like this. So that's kind of what we're working on. We're looking into that, and then we're looking into some other alternative ways to, bring a pharmacist, that kind of thing. We have some ideas on a possible location, and so
All right, so
we're
that's a
looking
good,
into some.
a good opportunity.
Opportunities and things.
Just that in-
So
in-
it's moving.
in 30 seconds, Megs.
Yeah.
In the last 2 months or 3 months since November, short term, on a scale of 1 to 10, how's it gone?
I haven't had any complaints. I think people are getting their medications delivered and that's working for the people who need the deliveries. I haven't had any complaints about that system.
Okay,
Really,
I just want to say, all this is great, but a friend of mine, for example, her husband, who was incapacitated, had to get a controlled substance.
Mhm.
So in order to get a controlled substance, she had to go, to Greenport to get it because controlled substances are not being delivered.
Right.
For obvious reasons. So that's one place where there's a gap.
I
okay,
thought they were able to deliver them.
they should be able to, if it's the pharmacy directly delivering to the house, they should be able to, because then there's a chain of custody for the drugs, but, I don't know. It depends, I don't know if there's a specific type of medication or situation. I'm not sure.
I think you do have to sign for them and show your license when you receive them.
Yeah,
So it's a little different than just dropping it off.
okay.
right.
So that's still very doable.
I mean, she was told she had to go,
Okay.
to Greenport to pick it up.
Okay. But otherwise, I haven't had anybody tell me that they were having problems with the
No.
program or any
Okay, all right.
issues. And some people are still choosing to go to the pharmacy and pick up their meds.
Okay. Yep.
But yeah, I haven't had any
Okay.
significant complaints.
Okay, all right. Anything else on 5A? Moving to 5B, the medical center, but particularly, I think, just an update on what the current situation is now. We went down there Monday through Friday. I assume no coverage on Saturday, Sunday, right?
I don't. think
I don't think there's any coverage there on the weekends. Is Dr. Potter 1 day a week, 2 days a week?
He's
Too
two.
late.
2 days a week?
Yeah,
Do we know what days?
Tuesday, I think it's Tuesday, Thursday.
I think it's Tuesday, Thursday
Yeah.
now. And then there's the PA the other days.
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
So is that person just Monday, Wednesday, Friday then? The PA?
Yeah. Is he on Tuesday, Thursday with Dr. Potter?
He's there Monday through Friday.
Oh, he is, that person's Monday through Friday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guy's had a lot of years in the emergency room. He knows what he's doing.
Do we have a name for the PA? Do we know?
Larry.
Larry?
Larry,
It's Larry.
with an R, the R last name.
Larry with the last name of R.
Well, it starts with an R.
I knew it at one point.
Okay.
All I know is Larry. I know
That's
Larry.
3 R's out of the first 6 letters of the name. Just want to go on record. It's heavily R. If there's an X in there, we got the RX.
It comes later.
It might be.
Is it?
I was going to say Rubenstein, but I was,
It's not a Steen, it's a Reuben. Maybe it's Reuben.
Ruben, okay, I love it. Larry Rubin.
Put a question
I
mark.
taught a kid at Carr Place with Larry Rubenstein, man. That was fun to, guy, editor of the newspaper.
So there's someone there 5 days, Josh is on.
So that's
there
Monday
too.
through Friday. That's excellent. That's excellent.
And I do have a call in to the woman in charge of coordinating all the positions in that area for Stony Brook. So I'm waiting for her to get back to me.
They're gonna place on Shelter Island.
Yeah.
So just out of curiosity,
That's why I was calling her about to see if that was going to move forward and.
I'm sorry, Callie, I didn't hear what you said.
I just said, to see about them placing a physician on the island.
Got it.
Because there was talk of someone who was actually going to live on the island and work here, like who was moving here to do the position, but I haven't had confirmation as to whether or not that's still moving forward or if it fell apart. So
okay.
I'm just trying to get in touch with her.
Do they have one person that shares the phone or some type of clerical help there, or is the physician PA just in charge of everything? You know, do we know if
They have someone who helps work in the office.
They have somebody-
This is. I'm
There's a
talking like
manager. There's a
The primary coordinator for the staffing of Stony Brook.
Oh, okay.
That's who I'm talking to.
Okay,
And do we still have, do we have a contract with Stony Brook?
Yes,
we do.
So we still have that.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they are obligated by contract to provide
Yeah, they,
something.
Well, yeah, they have to staff the office.
And so by having Larry Rubin,
Yeah. And Josh there. for-
yeah, they've fulfilled their obligation as far as they're concerned.
Right.
Yeah.
And they just brought in their engineer to check out the building again. They come once a year, so 3 of them came, so, they're still involved.
so the engineer does and makes recommendations on the building itself? Does, just out of curiosity, does Joe get called down to?
He was here, he went with
Oh,
them.
Joe went, okay, that's kind of nice that you have the town engineer with the hospital engineer. Okay. Okay. And that's done on a once-a-year basis, that annual inspection of the?
Yes.
Okay. And of course, they are charged a fee for their square footage. It's how we work it, and that's basically we own the bottom part of it, the town, and they are on the upstairs, and it's done by square footage. Okay,
But all the equipment, really like the guts of the building are in our basement, in our section. So that's why they always have to come and check the panels and
Okay.
plumbing and the
okay, yep,
heater.
that's, okay. So the basement is, where the equipment is, okay. All right. Any other concerns under that update, Megs, on anything on medical point of view? Now the second hot topic, John, is right up your alley. And I would like to open just by saying that with the holiday season, with what's happening in the country, and I won't go into any details, but obviously everybody knows what we're talking about here. Some of the population has been difficult to interview, and there's a certain amount of fear and paranoia to the point of being very fearful about appearing in large groups. So that's something that's understandable. So what we thought we were doing on a timeline to get this all done quickly in the winter months, it's gonna take us longer. And it just, I read John's email back, this committee operates, we don't operate every 2 months. So we are in contact with one another every week on topics, sometimes daily when we're running an event, sometimes several times during the day, when we're running an event. And we were lucky enough to have, and Bonnie was an important player in that whole thing. But so I think it's going to take us a little bit of time. I will tell you, I was in charge of interviewing students and the parents. So I will just tell you that when I went to my group on a PTA night, I was given 10, 15 minutes. And we had the timer, we had Mrs. Lewis's timer, 3-minute timer in there. But they flipped it 5 times. And then they got the hook. But anyhow, it was well received because the thing that they like to hear most, and I think I shared this with Nancy, if not, I'll share it with everybody, is when I said to them, so much attention in this committee is geared for senior citizens, a lot of it. And the reason I'm here is we would like to get the focus directed at young people and young families. And instantaneously, everybody started applauding. And I said, and I have a survey here I'd like you to take. And I had them all printed up. I've got one back and since November. But I know the holiday, Thanksgiving came up, and then Christmas came up, and the whole, So I was just on the phone with Dr. Dolge's secretary and Mrs. Dunning. And we had a nice chat this morning. The PTA is sending it out again. It's anonymous. Don't want any names on it. I want a box set up in Jackie's office where they just come in, drop it in a box. Same thing with students. I don't have to be there.
Yeah.
I've modified the questions and made them far less threatening. And I just want feedback from the 9th through the 12th or 7th and 8th graders. We're not going to really look at the pre-K to 6, but we want middle school, high school kids the opportunity to be able to, I use the example of the soccer team coming about in an interscholastic program. That was not initiated by administration. That was not come about because of parents. That came about because of students. Students came forward because we have a changing student population and said, why don't we have a soccer program? We have an increased number of Hispanic students that love soccer. We have also non-Hispanic students that love to play soccer. Why not? And it evolved, and it came back, and it's obviously been very, very, very successful. So that is empowering kids and parents. If you want to create change, you've got to become part of it. You've got to be willing to trust the fact that I don't care who said what. This is about gathering data, good data, and trying to give this committee some direction for the next 5 years, not 10, 20 years, a 5-year plan that we can put together, that we can modify as we go through this, as committee members change, and old man Colligan leaves, and other young people come in who are much more equipped and knowledgeable, and they run with this thing. It's not a committee that's going to go away. It's a committee that's going to evolve, and hopefully our goals will be realistic. And I think that we're going to, when we get to another topic, we'll talk about, modifying our goals. We are lucky to be and fortunate that the town allowed us to be a town committee. And we had reservations about it, initially. And I said, man, I've been a part of it for 8 years. I think it's a great opportunity for us. Just having Jessica here and having minutes recorded and having community members available to sit in on our meetings and expanding our horizons. And there's a lot of possibilities here. And I think, we're starting to see that as we move forward. it's a team effort. And that's what we hope to be, as a team effort with the town board to try to realistically move our goals forward in a realistic manner, not asking for everything at once, because that obviously the almighty dollar is paramount, and we realize that. So, you know, we have to take a step back once in a while and say, maybe next year, as every department head and every chairperson should do in order to keep spending at a reasonable level in this town. And everybody realizes that.
And, you know, since you've mentioned that it's been a year,
Yep.
going off the topic a little bit of the needs assessment, you know, it has been a full year now. And I mean, I'm just curious just to hear from, you know, I'd like to hear from Meg, since this was originally your idea. It was not our idea, it was your idea to become a town committee, and I keep saying that. You know, I'm curious to know what your thinking is of from this first year.
I think that it went well. I think for a new committee, you had some really wonderful programs that you put on for the community. I think you got very good turnout, and I think that with the community needs assessment, I feel like we're doing a very comprehensive job, like more so than what I had in my mind as like a community survey concept, because, you know, we have professionals who are giving us guidance on how to do it and how to do it correctly. So I think that so far, I think the committee is working really well. I know that there are some things that, you know, we probably want to do a little bit more of. You know, I know that, you know, health and wellness beyond just mental health and services, but also people's daily well-being, exercise, you know, eating health, things like that. We haven't like really focused in or done a ton of outreach on, but I think that during the summer program, we had a lot of good turnout, and that really covered everything. So I think that overall, the committee's off to a great start, and I think that the direction we're moving in is really solid. I think once we have the needs assessment done, we'll be able to tailor programs and tailor what kind of services and programs we need to develop. And I think that will be helpful. I do like the idea of trying to establish us as a NORC. So if I'll send out all the information I pulled together on it, and if there's like a key program that we would need to establish to get that kind of certification from the state, I'd like to try to focus our energies there to try to move that process along to get us more funding to really help establish some of these programs for seniors and help kind of boost the aid we can give people. But I think so far, I think we're on a good track. How do you guys feel? Do you feel like your time is being well spent?
I think once we have, like you said, once we can kind of finish this community needs assessment and get the survey out and hear what is coming back, I think that's gonna be huge.
I just think that we were known for special events, you know, that we did the overdose awareness the end of August, and we did some others. We did the brain health stuff this year, and we've done, and Nancy has done more than anybody on this committee by far, the educational piece and the almost on a, you know, twice a month type of thing.
Once a month.
Once a month.
Don't make me do it any more than once a month.
But some very, very timely topics and good topics. And it's kind of like health education for the community. You know, not everybody is a student, you know, at a school sitting in a health education class, which I taught for 35 years. We're now getting health education out to the broader spectrum. Do people read it? Do people understand it? My thing is that I think we have a very energized committee. I think people are dedicated more than any other committee I've sat on, where people, you know, you look at Gina when she runs that, I mean, heart and soul is in it. She's the pulse of this committee, and she does just a great job getting new speakers every year, get a great turnout. We started with 80, went to 90, went to 100, went to 110, went to 120. You know, for 5 years, we've increased those numbers, and that's great. And some of the same people come back, and we've improved upon it. And we love the feedback that we get. So we know last year that we started a half hour too late, and we ended in the dark, and it doesn't allow for enough time of after meeting kind of, yeah,
Casual
exchange.
conversation.
Yeah, yes. So I think that this year, that rather than wait for that, we're going to start at least a half hour earlier and get that going. But the speakers have been great. The turnout has been very good. But the thing that we did on brain health, I thought was very, very well received. People that we had 4 or 5, speakers, including, Sergeant Rando from the police department. We hit on a lot of timely topics. But the one thing that I think we're really all concerned, and I'm looking at John when I say this, we need to do a better job on a daily basis of providing this community with the best health and wellness direction and assistance that we can provide. We're not unrealistic. We're not trying to offer these services, but we're trying to educate and identify and help and offer our expertise in terms of getting people to the right place for assistance. That's something that we could do a better job being a town committee in doing that than we could be alone. That's why I was deeply in favor of becoming a town committee, because I think the town resources far exceed what we could do as a private group. That was my pitch. Anybody feel anything differently, or?
Can I just say something? I think we've been off to a very good year, but I also am feeling like this gathering of information is just now we're spinning wheels almost. I think we've gathered information. If we can tighten it up and kind of complete that, even if we've hit roadblocks, like Callie and I have hit a little bit of roadblock with businesses. There's been a change in the presidency of the chamber. They put it out there, not one business responded. And just we've collected a lot of information, and I think we just need to wrap it up. You know what I mean? I feel like it's just going on and on. And when you look at the information we're collecting, sometimes I look at it and I think there's nothing really that is so that we haven't thought about or touched upon. And just so that's just my feeling about that. Are we going to do a town survey? Let's get it out and going. Or are we not? I'm not even sure if we're doing that anymore.
Gina, I think in some of the individual interviews that we've done, I think that we've heard some very interesting stuff.
Yes.
That we hadn't thought about before. Because I know, personally, some people have said some stuff, and I was like, oh, really? Never thought of that. So, I mean, we do have a lot of information, and Meg, you have the whatever it's called. Yeah. I think I agree that we should get as many groups as we can within a target date.
Yeah.
And not to keep going back to the groups that are not interested. See who's interested. For example, Bonnie and I met with Terry Lucas, and she wants to move ahead with the library, and she wants 3 different groups from the library: the trustees, the staff, and what they call the patrons, the big users. And some of those big users we're not going to really be able to get until the weather gets warmer, so because they're not here. But so that's a go. Some of these others, the Chamber of Commerce, if you can't get a group together. I agree with you. It's not
Right.
We should move forward and give you whatever data you have. You guys did the senior center. Mm-hmm. Give you whatever data we have. And Natasha, you're both doing the school together? You're not involved.
No.
You're just doing the school by yourself.
No.
Yeah.
No, I tried to take a back seat. Initially, I was going to go that route and call you and say, and I didn't get that feedback that they wanted that. I got a little pushback.
So it's better just to do the surveys as opposed to the actual groups.
Correct.
And that's fine too. Surveys are good enough.
But and Gina, you bring up a good point, and I didn't mean to suggest to push it 6 months back and take another 6 months to gather this data. However, I do think I need, and I'm going to continue to push. Again, you just went through Thanksgiving, Christmas, and the winter holidays. I need that extra
Yeah, no, I
4 or
know.
5 weeks to get what I can get. But I think towards the end of February, we can, or the beginning of March or so, realistic, because it can go on indefinitely. And then it's not something that we're looking to do. I think,
So I think we should maybe have a target
Set a
date,
date,
Okay.
a target date, and
like,
that's,
like maybe March 1st. And wherever we are at March 1st,
okay,
yeah,
yeah,
then we submit to Meg and move on and move forward.
okay.
Does that make
hard
sense?
to it's hard to take action without, now looking at what we've got and making some new, decisions about things that we can
Yeah.
bring in and
I agree.
suggest.
But it's true, we do already have a lot of data.
We
Have a
do,
lot of
we
data.
do.
We don't have the Hispanic.
It's a great point, Gina, and I'm glad you spoke up, and that's why you're such a valuable part of this committee. But what, March 1st, what day is that? Anybody have a calendar in front of them?
Do you think that for, just with what's going on with the Hispanic community, it would be something that we could give to Maria or something, and they could have a survey where they could respond? Your wife could write it up or something as a survey for them to just take home on their own time, fill it out, drop it off if they want to, just so they don't feel like so they feel like they're a part of it or they're offering something.
Yeah, that could certainly be done. I've done one-to-one interviews kind of on the fly as I met people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what you were suggesting, if you can't do groups, you meet a person and interview them and get a feel.
Right.
I think we have a lot of data, but this gives us another, basically 6 weeks to finish it up, the end of January, February, get it done. March 1st is, Meg?
It's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday, so-
Sunday.
So let's,
First week in March.
so let's go, I'm coming back, what's Friday of the first week of March?
The 6th.
The 6th, okay, that's great. March 6th,
I'd like to hear from the Hispanic families.
yeah,
Do the best we can.
we do the best we can, yeah.
So that could be something to reach out to the social worker, the Spanish, she's not a social worker, but she's a Spanish liaison with the parents in the school, especially in the families, whether that survey could be distributed in Spanish through her. Have it translated, Jim, and have her send it out to the Hispanic families.
Okay, all right. That one question I had is that summer seasonal residents, how does that factor into a March 6th?
It doesn't.
It doesn't,
I think they're here now.
okay. Okay,
But the survey, when it goes out, they'll get their mail, right?
yes,
They
okay,
can fill that out.
okay. Are we sticking with a survey after all the individual groups are done?
We need a survey.
Do we need a
Yeah,
survey?
the reason that you really need a survey is you don't know what incident is. When somebody says, well, there's this problem over here I'm concerned about, that person, that's anecdotal from one person. How widespread is that feeling and perspective in the population? And is it sort of more for a particular segment? I mean, when we did the senior focus group, there was some discussion about the need for sidewalks. If you have a wheelchair and you want to go along here, you're going to have some areas where you're kind of on the grass and you can't move very easily a wheelchair along the grass. So out of that kind of came a recommendation along this area here in the center, possibly look at having a sidewalk created all along this street. Who would have thought that? Now, how many people would consider that a major issue here? If you were in a wheelchair, you'd consider it pretty major.
Mothers pushing strollers too.
Very good. So, right.
Like the sidewalk they put in the Heights when they redid it was not certified for the disabilities of a
No,
with a
Narrow
wheelchair.
wheelchairs go off.
yeah, it does, yeah. But the amount of room that they had available was not, I think it's like a 24-inch, 30-inch sidewalk. It's not very wide. it's single file only for a person, it's,
Wasn't compliant
No,
with.
no, it isn't.
Compliant.
Okay, so I think we have some time. Let's target May 6th as a time to get these things done. John?
March 6th.
Sure, March 6th, what'd I say, January, March 6th, yes.
Yeah.
And can you take a look at a possible developing of survey and circulate it to?
Yeah, I actually have a template.
Okay,
The essential outline is this. We print up a bunch of cards, and they're everywhere. They're in the grocery store, handed out at meetings, at churches, et cetera. And it invites people to take the survey and what it is, and maybe we have some people speaking about it, and it's talked about in the newspaper, and we hype it a bit, and it's a QR code. So, you just point your cell phone at that, and there's the questionnaire, English or Spanish,
I like it.
there's, if somebody doesn't want to go online and do the survey, they can request a copy. And you probably get 5 or 6 people requesting a copy, and then somebody can data enter that. That's not too difficult. And then we'd have a list of concerns, and it would be a ranking system. It wouldn't be, is this a major concern of yours? Well, they would hit yes on everything. Yeah, that's right. Now that I think about it, I'm concerned about that and that and that.
Prioritizing.
Yeah, right. So that it would be a ranking priority question, which I've seen other towns do. We would have some very basic demos in terms of, where do you work here? Are you retired here? Et cetera. So that we could see that who it is that actually took the time to send it in, and do we feel it's a representative sample? Certainly really need a minimum of 300. Love to see 1,000, but that's probably
300 would be great.
a stretch.
I think the 300 is a stretch, but you know what? Think big, John. And that's why they call you Big John.
It's like, don't they say with direct marketing, if you get 2%, you're good? Yeah.
Direct marketing in the sense of purchase patterns. So that's a very different topic than providing information. And everybody's sort of paranoid about, I'm going to provide my information and they're going to keep track. It's going to go into my Palantir database where they have 5,000 data points on every adult American 18 plus. Oh, really? That'll be added to that too. So there's a lot of paranoia.
Maybe 10.
I think the bottom line is, though, that you're demonstrating that you're using a variety of tools to gather information.
Yeah.
And the committee has gone out of its way to interview people individually, in groups, and now through a survey.
Right.
So it's an honest effort to get back feedback, good, honest feedback on direction for the committee. So that's, John, if you could circulate that a little bit.
Circulate the card, the template, as well as the template of the questionnaire.
Okay, super duper.
I have that.
All right. We're up to, I want to skip over item 7 because we're going to go into executive session because it involves personnel issue. But new business, anybody have new business that you would like to bring up, item 8?
Just, I had a thought, and it
Yes,
came
ma'am.
from the conversation that we had, and we're all aware. Is there anything we can do? Because I know just in other East End towns, for example, when CAST comes or the food pantry, less people are showing up because they don't want to be in groups. Is there any way that we can work with ALA and maybe having, if anybody had a need, to send someone for food? Or something like that, so that people, because people are not comfortable going where there's designated groups and are going to be known there, like the days the cast comes, or the food pantry, or if people don't want to pick up their kids from school, if somehow we could maybe work with ALA or the PTA in organizing
Yeah.
that, for example, they could call upon a small group of people to go pick up food for them, because that is an issue right now. People do not want to go and gather.
No, the
in-
numbers, Margaret has worked there for 2 years, and the numbers are down slightly. Yes, they are, they continue to, especially in the last 4 months, trickle in a downward
The
trend.
need is the greatest because
Yeah.
there's not as much work.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking in terms of that's something I'd like to throw out to the group.
Yeah.
Um,
They've
and
talked,
also-
Gina, on that topic alone, though, on the food pantry, talking about a mobile cart delivering food to the homes, that the Lions Club has been looking into the possibility of a food truck of sorts that would actually deliver to homes. So I don't know where that's at, but we can follow that up with the Lions Club and see if I can get some data. They had some money available. I know that last night I went to a function with the Lions Club. I'm not a Lion, but my wife is, and sat down and listened, and $50,000 is going into across the street. It's going into the Legion. It's going into a new kitchen for the
Good.
Legion. So the Legion has 4 items that they're working on to improve the downstairs.
bathroom, I think,
The
too.
most expensive one is the bowling alleys themselves, which is the most costly, and they're aged. We've gotten decades and decades of use out of it. The kitchen, the elevator, as opposed to the elevator rather than the stairs are dangerous going down for elderly people, and the other one were the bathrooms. So the commander, Zach, has been working on the 2 bathrooms. We've done it in-house with volunteers with a minimal cost to get the bathrooms up. Men's room is done. The women's room, I believe, is being worked on, if not now, in the spring. This will take care of the kitchen needs. The elevator is something that we're looking at. The bowling alley is something that we've already started a fund to try to put money into that bowling alley area. As people realize, if you have a birthday party or a family gathering and you want to rent out the Legion on a day, you can do it for $150, $100, whatever the donation is. It's not a lot of money. They set it all up for you. If you want the bar opened up, that's a different story. Then obviously that would increase the cost of a little bit, but it's all workable. I don't know where all the other monies have been delegated to, but I know that they were talking about that they seem to be cast, and the Lions Club seemed to be forming a bond between the 2 organizations. So I'm pretty confident that everybody is aware of the topic that you brought up and are
Not only
concerned
for
about it.
seniors too, for even seniors. who
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, that can't
Exactly.
go. That if it could be directed to the Lions Club or through ALA, that maybe a few volunteers would get a list of what you need and deliver them
And deliver it to the home.
and deliver it to the
Yes.
people.
We do, yeah, we do that with the seniors already. We have, if they need any
Thing from CAST.
food, we'll pick it up and, deliver it for them. And we have a food order program too that they'll shop, if they shop in Riverhead, we have a driver who's paid from a grant, who goes to pick it up with the order number and then delivers it. And if they can't get it in the house, then they will carry it in the house and even put it on the shelves. But I think a truck that's going to deliver food to someone is a telltale thing. And they're incognito. They don't want to have all that advertised that this truck is bringing me food every week.
And I think what Gina's saying, if I'm correct, not a truck, but a person.
A car, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a person in their own
Remember that-
vehicle. Yeah.
Yeah, when you get into trucks and things and you have to have refrigeration. it's- it's-
Right, oh, yeah, yeah.
Just,
That's,
you're talking about just a pickup from
Just
the.
Someone goes to CAST, gets.
Okay, gotcha.
And then takes it to the home.
Yeah, a friendly thing.
Because it's not only Hispanic families that go and seniors go to CAST. I mean, it's a broad.
It is.
Yes.
It most definitely is.
So, and just in light of hearing that East End towns are noticing the decrease, not because there's less people, but people are not comfortable anymore. And we want to be proactive, right? And I
Yes.
think it's such a simple thing to organize, in that way. So that was just a thought. The other thing, going back to the March event, I think it's a great opportunity for us to work together with the Recreation Department, who can step up their game for activities in January, February, and March.
Okay,
You know?
Thank
Specifically, what the program, as we've envisioned it, the seasonal affective disorder, it really is a type of depression, seasonal
Like-
affective disorder, known as SAD.
Okay, yeah.
And for people who suffer from it, it really has to do with a lack of light that happens in the winter.
That triggers dopamine to make you happier.
And
Even the things like the singing bowls and things like that,
Yes.
that also do the
Yes.
same thing, right? They're contributing to the same thing, that we could do that more often through the Recreation Department. Just activities like that that really are very good for the body and the mind and things, during those winter months.
And also the fact that, for people who need the light, they have these boxes
Yeah.
that, and you can get it through Amazon or Walmart. These light boxes, which have really been known to be very effective for people who are suffering from this lack of light.
Well, even simple things, when it does snow and Goat Hill is out there, the cocoa that's made by a few nice people and families gather, having family activities for people is important.
Very
They don't, because nobody sits at the dinner table anymore. They're all watching TV or doing
On their
things.
devices.
I'm still getting over the tailbone injury that I had on the flying saucer from 2 years ago going down Goat Hill. I mean, Margaret said to me when I came home and I couldn't sit down for a week, she said, would you just dust off your birth certificate? I mean, that was one of those. I mean, there's no padding in those things. They're about, a 16th of an inch. And when you hit that rock on that tailbone, wow, it gets your attention very quickly.
But it was fun, wasn't
It was fun while it lasted. And my granddaughter said, Grandpa, dust off your birth certificate. Anyhow, all good suggestions.
Thank you for the
Gina, love that idea. Meg, are you still the liaison to the Recreation Committee?
I touched Becky.
Could you talk to her about that? Okay, thank you. Okay. That, at least, Gina, your message will get across and Meg will carry that message, okay? That's the other beauty of having town liaisons, on the committees and being able committees to work together. It's a good point both points are good points.
Then would it be reaching out to the Lions Club then to ask if there would be volunteers, or if that's something to coordinate, or?
What about churches? How about some of the churches kicking in? I know,
All right, I'll take it upon myself to look into both those items, churches and the individual cars from, getting a volunteer.
volunteers.
Yeah, we'll look at that.
Right.
All right, so I would need if there's nothing else on the new business, I want to stay close to the count because we're 64 minutes in. I would like a motion to go into executive session just to get an update on the town social worker. Since it's a personnel issue, we need to do that. Do I have a motion to do that? All right, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye. Aye, okay. All right, so done. All right, thank you very, very much, everybody. Thank you.
Please